settlers are becoming annoyed. How are your moods overall? You're fine. The father's in a really good mood. He's inside, writing and reading. He's got a nice, easy life. They're all fucking busting their humps out here. All right, we are playing Going Medieval. Going Medieval is a colony management, settler management game that's in early access on Steam. It's a game where you take some number of low-poly settlers out into the wilderness and oversee their activities while they attempt to survive and hopefully thrive. This is a game that I've seen most often compared to RimWorld, though it is not as feature-rich or fully featured as RimWorld. As I mentioned, this is in early access. However, the developers are updating this pretty regularly and pretty studiously. They've got a roadmap here, and they show the things they've added and the things they intend to add. And they have an update every Monday on Steam where it seems like they're working pretty intently on turning this into the game that they'd like it to be. Now, I mentioned this was most often compared to RimWorld. I myself do not have much experience with RimWorld or settler managers in general, colony management games in general. I'm playing this today because I play a lot of Kenshi. I have a long-running series on the channel. I've got about 350 hours or so into that game, and I just very recently, for the very first time, got into the base building, outpost building portion of that game. While that game by no means is it a colony manager game, it does have just the lightest bit of some of those mechanics. It just kind of dips its toes into the water with things like commodity production and job function assignment and light prioritization of jobs and raids and things like that. But in playing that and having so much fun with that, I really wanted to play something that did have more of those features for the colony manager, just kind of scratch that itch. And so we're going to play today, Going Medieval. Now, as I mentioned, this game is in early access. I've been playing a little bit of it, a few hours, just kind of getting into the basics of it. I have seen some bugs. I have seen some crashes. I'm also on the experimental branch, so we may see even more of that. But the experimental branch adds a couple of quality of life improvements that we'll see, and I'll probably talk about when we see them, that are really hard to pass up. So now for the game today, I've created a very particular start. When you press new game, you get to choose from a couple of different types of difficulties. This is a bit opaque, and perhaps they'll work on this as they go. I have seen them address what the difficulty does in that, I think it was on the Steam forum where they have said that they're not going to go into what is exactly happening under the hood, but it seems like difficulty is really focused on the number of raids and the efficiency of the raids and how skilled the raiders are and things like that. But you can choose these between standard, peaceful, and survival, and then these different difficulties, and then you can add your own starting condition. It comes with a new life and lone wolf, and I've been playing around with a couple of different ideas. And so we're going to take today one that I've made called the Homestead Family, where we basically start out with nothing. We'll have enough food to get us through the day to get us set up, and that's it. And everything else we'll have to find from the land. Our clothes are terrible. We have no food. We have nothing to drink. We'll have to make do out in the wild. And the difficulty on that we're going to take is we're going to take standard and hard difficulty. It seems like hard difficulty also affects the raids specifically. Ideally, I'd really like to have more options. I'd like to see a harder survival aspect than the raids. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the raids. I don't know if this is part and parcel for how colony management games work, but it really feels like I'm pausing the game that I'm playing to do a tower defense game, and I'm not a huge fan of tower defense games in general. I'm still going to leave them on because it's part of the game plan. I'd like to, get to know what this game has to offer before opting out of pieces of it. So we'll leave the raids on for this group of settlers. For this family of settlers, you may have noticed there, it's going to be a homestead family. Now, this game does not have children, and I don't know if that's necessarily part and parcel for colony management games in general. Like I said, I don't have a lot of experience with games like RimWorld or any of that stuff, so I don't know if those games have kids or not, but in playing this game, this really seemed like it's just kind of missing. It felt glaringly missing. You're going out, you're setting up a life out in the woods. It seems like there would be generations and legacies to follow down the line. Now, the developers have addressed that directly. There's an FAQ, I think both on Reddit and on Steam, where they kind of have a take on it that AAA developers typically have, where they're worried about the appearance of the things that could happen to children in this game. There's cannibal raids, there's death, there's unmarked graves that could be tough. And that's typically the stance that a AAA developer will have because they will often be under more scrutiny, overall. But I mean, I'm coming from playing games like Crusader Kings. Like, children dying is probably the best thing that can happen to them. So I think overall people can handle it, but the developers decided not to add it. Now, I can't add children directly, but what I've done is we'll make a mother and a father, and we'll just take one of them and make them short and as young as we can possibly make them. We'll just call that the kid. So it'll just be fun for immersion and just kind of for a story for them to unfold, not that it'll actually have any gameplay effect. Now, to that end, the developer has indicated that while there seems to be no promise, and I don't think it was on the roadmap, that they are interested in bringing both more options and modding, actual officially supported modding to the game. And so, like I said, it doesn't seem that it's promised. I don't see it on here. Settler interactions, I don't see that it's on here, but I have myself seen them comment on it and say that they are interested in bringing it. So I'll have my fingers crossed for that, because I'm sure this developer knows as well, modding, especially on indie games, can really extend the life and the community of the game that you make. As I mentioned, I love Kenshi. I play a lot of it, and I consider it probably one of my favorite games, definitely right now, if not of all time. I've played it for years, and I don't think I could say that if it wasn't so extensively moddable. All right, so we're going to jump in. I'll probably cut right from here to the family, but like I said, it's going to be a mother, a father, and a fake child, and I'm probably going to hit random a couple of times on everything that I'm allowed to hit random on, just to make sure that it's nice and randomized, and we'll give them all the same last name using the advanced customization. All right, the Homestead family gets ready to embark. 3 people with little more than the clothes on their backs in the dead of winter. Wilhelm is confident, defiant even. We will make this work. We will take our share of the land. We will build there, and we will defend it. Many have tried, some have fallen, beset by bandits, defeated by drought, yet many have also prevailed. Have faith the place we found will stand for centuries from now. Our descendants will be there still. Almost a tongue twister. After many travails, they arrived in the valley with golden plains cut through by a snaking river? Really? That's not true. There's no water in this game. We'll see. For Yvette, it conjured visions of bountiful harvests, song, and wine, a place to put down roots, a homeland. They decided to call it Woodhurst. All right, and welcome to Woodhurst. How green it is. How green it is. We are in winter, right? Yeah, winter day 1. Very green. All right. All right, let's meet the family of, what did we say this was? Woodhurst, the family of Woodhurst. All right, so who do we have? We have Wilhelm Knotley. Wilhelm Knotley is 43, the patriarch of the family. He is the uprooted Franklin. Tilling linchets into the poor hilly soil near Fleecethorpe had been a last resort, as fertile land was scarce. But Wilhelm had done well and won the freedom to farm their own hide. Wilhelm felt pride, but mainly relief. He soldiered on. After the apocalypse, Wilhelm despaired. Seeing villagers die was bad. Watching Fleecethorpe sheep succumb was catastrophic. Wilhelm did his best to ease their suffering, slitting their throats at any sign of infection. Without livestock or livelihood, Wilhelm fled. And this background gives him bonuses to mining, botany, and animal handling. He's also got a pseudonym. He's the Broken of Fleecethorpe. It was said that Wilhelm's adventuring career came to an abrupt end when he when he took an arrow to the knee. He does have a funny walk. All right, so we've got a Skyrim reference there. It gives him +3 to his marksmanship. And while we're here, we will take a look at his mood. He is unhappy because he has ugly apparel. And we'll take a look at his inventory. I have them in wool clothing because I have done a number of these winter starts just messing around with this game. And invariably, at least one settler comes in with really low hit points. So I think wool has higher hit points than linen. So he's not so bad. 50 out of 51. That's good. So that should be fine. I feel like at least one of them is going to have 2 hit points out of 51. And when they get down to 0, their clothes just disappear. And when their clothes disappear in the winter, we're on day 1 of the winter, and it's 13 degrees outside, and that's going to drop. They're basically dead. It's almost impossible to keep them inside. They're friggin' stupid. You set them to do inside tasks. I had a character take a drink from inside, walk outside, even though there was a table inside for him to sit at, walk far away outside, drink the drink, and then collapse trying to walk back, walking in the deep snow. We'll hope that doesn't happen today. Let's meet the mom. We've got Yvette Knotley. And Yvette Knotley is 36, and she is the ambitious shipwright. Yvette had done her time building vessels on the docks and could turn her calloused hand to all manner of construction. Ports being rough and ready places, Yvette also knew how to throw a punch and dodge a scoundrel's shiv. In the wake of death and terror, Yvette crept about Oxford, tearing pages glowing with illuminations, swiping vellum and ink. Yvette served her masters in the scriptorium diligently. Yvette had a steady hand and would learn to read and write and finally become a somebody. So this ambitious shipwright gives her bonuses to construction, melee, and her intellectual abilities. Oh, I didn't look at their perks either. So Yvette has a green thumb, which will give her pluses to botany, her harvest amount, and it lowers her chances of harvest fail. That's really good. What is her botany skill overall? Terrible, but she's passionate about it. So she's passionate about her botany skill, which means that she will learn that faster. All right, and she's also a gourmet. Yvette is everyone's favorite cook with endless culinary skills that tantalize the taste buds. She has a plus to appetite and a negative to consumption duration. I guess she eats faster? All right. She's also industrious. Yvette is certainly a busy bee, buzzing around getting things done from dawn till dusk. She never seems to rest, and so she's got a higher global work speed. That's fantastic. We'll take a look at her skills real quick. She's pretty decent at carpentry and construction and culinary. She's pretty good overall. Mining, nice. And we'll take a look at the father's perks. The father is punch drunk. If you share alcohol with Wilhelm, expect a black eye or worse. He's an angry drunk. Now, I don't know what effect that's going to have. My understanding... Can I see the roadmap from here? No. My understanding there are no social interactions as yet, and I assume that's a social interaction perk. So I don't know what that's going to do to us. He's a washout. If there are rain clouds about, Wilhelm is going to be very unhappy. Getting wet makes him as miserable as sin. That's going to be rough. Not in the winter because it's going to snow, and I don't know that affects snow. But man, it rains a lot in this game. So it's going to be hard to keep him happy. We'll see what happens. He's ill-favored. He was born with a boss eye, which makes it difficult to know where to look when speaking to him, and he's got a negative to speechcraft. He's good at animal handling. He's a good marksman. He's very good at mining. Nice. And a little bit good at smithing. And let's take a look at the son, Henrik Knotley. Henrik Knotley is 22. This is as young as you can make them. It's fine, whatever. He's a loyal gardener. Henrik had found peace within the wattle fences of the garden filled with scented flowers and herbs. He knew their properties well as food and medicine. Time stood still under the trellises, and Henrik would bathe in the scent of the new growth. When the world changed, Henrik pledged fealty to King Edmund, who was ordained to rule and bring England back into harmony and balance. Henrik would gladly put anyone who disagreed with him to the sword. Death would be swift and merciful. Okay. This gives him pluses to botany, culinary, medicine, and melee. And let's see his perks. He is punch drunk. If you share alcohol with Henrik, expect a black eye or worse. He's an angry drunk. And he's a brawler. Whenever a fist fight breaks out, you can guarantee that Henrik started it. And gives him pluses to melee, negatives to speechcraft, pluses to unarmed damage. And he's got that same punch drunk. So I guess he's a rowdy kid that takes after his father a bit. Let's take a look at his skills. He's decent at animal handling, decent at botany, decent at carpentry and very passionate about it. Decent intellectual. He's decent at medicine. Or the rest? How are the rest of them? 0, 9. All right, he will be our chief doctor, our resident medicinal expert. And he's decent at tailoring. That's good. He's also passionate at it too. So we'll be able to get some clothes on these guys. I think that's the whole family. There's a couple things we're gonna do to get started. I like to give them a small range around them that they are allowed to grab things. I'll take a look at some of the things that are around them and see if there's anything particular that I want them to be able to grab. Whoops. Sticks for sure. We'll take this clay and this clay. These little yellow things are clay, so we're going to grab some of that. And we'll say they can grab this clay as well. Our main goal is just to get a roof over our heads in the first day. It's going to be a race to get that done. After that, we will worry about making their lives a little more amenable, and then after that, we will worry about actually surviving. Now, the very, very first thing I always do when I come into this game is I search the map in winter, because yep, there we go. There always is, I've seen, on average, 4 to 5 dead deer carcasses. Now, there is no reason that I have found that you can't eat a dead deer. They don't have any diseases. There's no gameplay mechanic that says no. And if we find 4 or 5 deer carcasses, we are good for food for the winter. It would be nice if this was patched out or randomized, or if difficulty made that more difficult. Maybe you find 0 to 1. But we basically will have no problem with food. If I find 5, we'll have so much we'll actually even be able to sell. The stuff that's laying about is forbidden, so I'm just going to allow them. We can forbid or allow with the F key. And I'm going to go look around the map real quick and see if we can find more deer carcasses. And if we tell them they're allowed to touch... There we go, there's 2. If they're allowed to touch the deer carcasses, and we set somebody to haul, they will haul the deer carcasses back to the stockpile. And then we can butcher up those carcasses. There's 3 and 4. There we go. 4? There's 5. Were we at 4? Can we go for 6? Is that possible? This would be hilarious. So I think that was 5 deer carcasses. And like I said, first thing I always do, check for them, because now we don't have to worry about food. All right, this is a nice little place to set up. And like I said, we're going to focus just on getting the things we need to survive. So I'm going to build out a whole house, but we're not going to build everything. I'm just going to get the size and shape set up the way I want it. We're not actually going to build all this stuff. I'm just going to make sure it all fits. And the most urgent stuff we need right out of the gate is a bed, a fire to keep us warm, and walls and a roof. That'll fit everything. We don't need the bench today. I just wanted to make sure it fit. I am going with a slanty roof because one of the things I like to do is we're going to make a stockpile here, and we're eventually going to cover it. But depending on how quickly we can research things, we might cover it with a second floor, and the second floor will have a regular triangle-shaped roof, and then I can mirror this on the other side. So it's this big, giant farmhouse type thing. And this big, giant, triangular farmhouse that, if you can imagine it, will become scalable because I can continue the pattern out this way. In the beginning, they're going to live in one giant compound. Eventually, if we play long enough, we'll expand into a whole village and everything. But in the beginning, it's best for them to all be under one roof. We can keep it nice and warm and easily. Now, there's a lot of cool mechanics in this game, specifically revolved around temperature. You have to keep the families, the settlers, need to be kept at appropriate temperatures. They can't be too hot, they can't be too cold, they can get hypothermia, they can get heat stroke, etc., etc. And your food will rot if it's out in the sun, if it's touching the floor, and it shouldn't be. If it's uncovered and it gets rain on it, it'll decompose, it'll rot, etc. And eventually we'll start digging into the earth and building cool cellars where we can store stuff for longer because it'll be preserved by the colder temperature. But we'll also start getting into things like brewing alcohol and fermenting alcohol, which need very, very specific temperatures, which will manipulate some of the environment to give us the temperatures that we'd like. It's very interesting systems they have. But to start, I'm putting a floor underneath what's going to be our stockpile. I'm going to grab a stockpile here. And we'll designate a little area that'll be a stockpile. And we are going to take out of that area human carcasses we don't want in our stockpile. And we don't want waste in our stockpile either. Yeah, and because it's the winter time, this stuff will be just fine. Like if I click on, I mean, there's no food on here yet, but we'll see. But if I click on the hat, I can see it's decomposing in 2 days because it's on the ground. It's just sitting on the ground rotting. All right, that's our house. Just for the start, we've got a bed. We've got a brazier in there to keep us warm. We've got a stockpile going. All this stuff is orange because we have no supplies yet. We're going to have to take care of that. Wilhelm eventually will be our ranger. They have no ranged weapons as yet, but we'll start out. When we do get a bow, we'll make sure he gets it first. And I'm going to set them all to all for everything now. As you get more people and more gear, it's nice to like manage this a little bit better. But for now, they can anything they can happen to get their hands on, they are welcome to have. And we are going to set their schedules. For the first night, they are not sleeping. Very likely not sleeping until early in the morning. And for the next day, we'll set a pretty standard work schedule for us. All right, so they're not going to sleep much this first day. I'm going to readjust the sleep schedule after we get this done, but I want to make sure we have a place to live. Also, let's just see if anybody's a night owl. Oh, you are. Did I read all of your stuff? You're ill-favored and you're a night owl. Yes, beautiful. All right, so he needs less sleep. Anybody somnolent? No. Okay. All right, so we've got a night owl. That's fantastic, and we have nobody who needs extra sleep, so that's also fantastic. Now let's take a look at their jobs. One of the first things I like to do is drop all their jobs down by 1, just so I have a little more nuance and control in the very beginning. And let's see who's good at what. Very important, we got to cut some plants. So it looks like father and son are going to start cutting plants, and that means we're going to have the mother haul, and she'll steward as well. The first couple of days, I'm going to be very micromanaging on this. Other than tending, which should just be done by whoever's the best at medicine, and hunting should be done by the best marksman, but we don't have a bow, so it doesn't matter. In the very first day, I am mostly concerned about first cutting plants, then constructing, and then harvesting. So I think we're good to go with them. We'll put her to a 2 on construction and see what, we'll put her on a 3 on construction. They go from left to right, so she'll probably construct before she ever gets to hauling. I would like her to haul. Actually, I'm going to leave that at 4. I want her to haul. Hopefully she'll haul. Oh, the green disappeared. Ha 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 ha. This is day 1 of winter. All right. They all pop on hats, and they start cutting plants. Yvette is hauling to stockpile. I love it. Go for it. Is she grabbing that deer? Good, do it. Grab that deer. Oh, did I not mark? I don't think I marked plants for cutting. Whoops. All right. We hit go. Oops. Normally I don't do giant swaths of trees to cut down, but the ones that are nearby the house, we know we're going to end up knocking down anyway, because we're going to grow into this area. We're going to get the ones that are right on top of the house. Yeah. Good. And that should give us a good supply in the very beginning. And then after that, we'll probably go through and weed out. Let me see if I can see. It's hard to tell in the wintertime, but like there's a dead tree, and dead trees can get cut down without any concern. There's dead. B is the chop key, so I'm just hitting B. Now we got to hustle on this because the clock is ticking on harvestables. All this like these mushrooms, we're not even going to get to harvest them. They'll all be gone by the time we get to it. Father and son are chopping away. As soon as we get a couple of trees, again, I'm going to micromanage them more. I like to really just set them and let them do whatever, and kind of do their own thing with some vague oversight. But how important this all is, we're going to do a little more micromanaging, like I said. As soon as we get a couple of trees down, probably after that tree falls from Henrik, we're going to reset Wilhelm to construct. And once she's got all those deer in here, we'll start looking at some other things for her to do as well. 10 hours in the first day already. We gotta move like the wind. Henrik, what I would rather you do is harvest this grass. We need this grass for beds, and that's very, very important. So we're just gonna stay on top of him real quick. I think we need 3, so. I don't want them... If I put him on harvest, he's going to harvest a ton of stuff all over the map, like whatever he won't do what I want him to do, so we're just going to leave that as it is. That should be enough. He can get back to what he was doing. I will now, though, mark the stuff nearby that I want to harvest. And again, like I've mentioned, if you put stuff to harvest too far away, they will literally start at the... I don't know what the rhyme or reason is. It's not most valuable. It's not most likely to decay. It seems to be like the thing most designated to annoy me. Alright, she is still hauling. We've got 2 deer down. She's getting the 3rd. She's very slow. Oh, she's getting the 4th. Alright, good. That should be enough wood to get us going all around. When the mother is done hauling all the deer, which I want more than anything, because that deer is going to disappear very quick. It's going to get eaten by animals, or it's going to rot. I want that under a gate tonight. Look at this little family. Getting shit done. I love it. Yeah, hopefully we can get some of the mushrooms. This is the last time we're going to see mushrooms, like, all winter. So hopefully we can get a few of those. And I don't think you can plant mushrooms, at least I haven't seen a way. They just have to kind of grow naturally. But we desperately need this red currant, because that's going to be our only way to make booze in the beginning. And if they don't drink, they get fucking pissy. So we're going to hope we can get them booze to drink. Bedroom is done. Beautiful. Awesome. All right, let's set this up. We'll put that on a very high priority so they refill it. And we'll take wood out of there because wood is going to be an important resource for us in the beginning. Sticks, less so. All right, guys, you really... Yvette, what are you doing? Are you eating? All right, that's fine. Did you eat raw food? Yeah, she's very unhappy from eating raw food. Whatever, lady. No one told you to do it. What are you eating again? You drinking? No, Yvette. You gotta build the outside first. See, this is the shit that I'm talking about. They have the weirdest AI. There's sticks all the fuck over the place, and she's going to get those sticks instead. One stick was out there. There's 100 here. Oh, we're so close. We're so close. Yvette has to run as far as possible away to get sticks. There's sticks right here, Yvette. All right, beautiful. Jeez Louise, was that tough on you guys. All right, if they can get the floor done, so be it. We're also going to let them sleep since they're done. Yvette is hauling. Good, good, good. Keep hauling. You keep it up. And let's see where Henrik is. Harvesting away. I love it. Wilhelm's cutting. Chopping down those trees. Look at him go. Powerful swing. All right, he should be going to sleep now. Yeah. All right, and they all go to sleep. First day done. It's 53 degrees inside their bed, and we will take this opportunity to build them a floor. There you go. And we will start their day tomorrow with all the things we need. We're going to need research so we can learn how to build new stuff. We're going to need a butcher table for sure. So they need a shrine to pray to. If they don't pray to their gods, they get unhappy. So we'll give them a shrine. And we'll give them a backgammon table for entertainment. And I don't know if this... Where is it? I don't know if this does anything outside, but we'll put a brazier out here as well. In case it does help. You know, we'll buoy our chances of keeping them slightly warm out here. We'll put a torch over there as well. We're making a little butchering area, which also means I'm going to fence it in because they will, no matter what I tell them to do, no matter what priority I put it on, they are going to just drop their fucking butchered meats on the floor and move along with their day. So we're just going to pretend that that's okay. We're going to let them do it. And we are going to go ahead and designate that an actual stockpile. We're going to clear all. We're going to make it high priority. And we're going to say animal carcasses and raw meat can get put there. And here we will say no raw meat and no animal carcasses of any kind. All right, so with that, we now have access to, once they get this day in the books, and you know what, hold on, we got to actually adjust their jobs for this. Henrik's going to stay on harvesting, that's fine. Yvette is on construction. They're both on construction. All right, cool. And let's see what everybody's doing. Wilhelm's hungry, and he's getting resources. Awesome. Henrik's botany skill is now level 13. He's harvesting away like a studious little boy. I love it. Yvette is getting some resources. She's building away. Wilhelm's just trucking all over the planet, getting different resources from all the corners of the map to finally come back and build something. There you go. No, okay. What are you doing? Okay, he ran all around the map to get one log and drop it down and not build the damn thing. Stupid idiots. You gotta be a more efficient worker, Wilhelm. Oh, I love it. Let's see, we got a nice little house going here. A little shack in the woods. All right, awesome. They've got a place to pray. We can set their schedules back to normal. Actually, Wilhelm, you don't need sleep, right? We'll see what this does for us in terms of sleep. Now, once the fences are done, I'm going to set these jobs, but not before because I'm going to just attract wildlife. There'll be foxes and wolves all fucking running around the place. You know what we'll also do? I don't see a reason not to. We'll give them. We're trying to fight negative moodlets, so we're gonna give them a place to sit and eat their food. And we'll also put a torch there. Hopefully, it stays a little bit warm. Not gonna put a brazier. All right, and we're gonna start research. Also, we're gonna start research once this construction out here is done. And I'm just gonna let them do their thing. I'm not really worried about it. They got plenty of time. All this stuff is functioning well. Henrik is back to hauling because he's harvested everything I've asked for. I'm going to leave him on hauling. I'm not going to distract him with other jobs because I want this current on the stockpiles. Henrik is drinking the last of their booze. And again, we see he walks to a very weird spot to do it. At least he went inside. That was good. He could have drank it right there. Instead, he walked all the way inside to take a drink. And now he'll run back outside. And sit down. That's nice. They're playing a little game of backgammon together in the 16-degree weather while their kid prays to their old gods. All right, if you guys want to pop up and get to work, I'd be totally okay with that. They are hanging out. Yo, Wilhelm, you are deep into the fucking entertainment there, my friend. Damn straight, get to that constructing. And here we see our stuff is not rotting because it's on a nice wicker floor. If it rains, it will start to decompose, so we're going to get that covered pretty damn soon. As soon as we can do some research, we're going to get that covered. All right, we got our fences done. Let's get our cooking going. We will chop up meat forever, and we have a lot of meat. So we are going to make sure we're not using red currant in here, because we're going to want to use that for booze only. And once the snow starts to fall, that's it. There's no more harvesting red currant. I have not seen it. It doesn't grow in the snow. So we've got what we got. We may actually send the kid out to harvest more while we can. We're going to make 30 meals. Normally I only make a couple of meals for them, but we're going to have so much friggin' raw meat. I don't want to risk. We'll just until they have 25. 25. So we're doing forever on chopping up. We're cooking 25 meals, and we're going to be doing some research. As soon as all this is done, we're going to change all their jobs up. All right, seems like the mother is the best cook. So the mother is going to start cooking. We'll leave construction on 1 for her. That's fine. Cut plants on 2. Haul on 1. And so the father is going to research. And we'll put his construction on 2. And his cut plants on 2. That's fine. Nice. Kid's praying, getting some entertainment, and the mother's getting to work. Chopping up them. Oh, shit. How did she get out? Oh, they don't need doors? I guess only the animals need doors? Well, we're going to put a door anyway, because it looks nicer. I didn't realize I didn't put gates. Oh, well. Alright, it is lovely. They are working away. And we have 43 degrees inside. We can see that up here. Where you hover, it tells you what temperatures. It's 1 degree outside, -3, it's dropping. And inside it is 39. It's getting colder. Getting colder outside, gets colder inside. The temperature mechanics in this game are really cool. I like that. The fact that it's that nuanced. Like I said, we'll start building basements and stuff to get cool weather, and then dealing with brewing, which has to be kept at very specific temperatures, and like pretty nifty stuff. You can build ice boxes and like ice harvesting later. Now, it did say, our splash screen said this was cut through by a river. Yeah, and water is not a mechanic in this game. Yet, or maybe forever. I don't know. It would be nice if it was. It'd be cool if they had to keep a supply of water on hand at all times. I would like that. If it was a well or a rain collector, that'd be cool. Ooh, somebody got hypothermia. Heinrich is cold. He's just cold. He's not, he's fine. He's fine. Awesome, they are coming along nicely. And there the foxes start coming out. And they're going to eat some of the shit that we forested, which is going to be a fucking pain in my ass, but... we will, the father's up early. Doing research. He's getting there. Yeah, as I was saying, like, I wanted to play this because I was playing so much Kenshi, and it's like, it's so much fun. It's like, it feels so good when everything's doing what it's supposed to do in, like, the base building management areas of Kenshi. And the same thing, like, just applies. It's so fun when they're all just doing exactly what they're supposed to do, and it's all just working out the way it's supposed to. Which also, you know, it makes it a lot of fun when it's not. Like, the strife, the you can't have joy without pain. The sad stories are also fun. I learned about the hit points on clothes because I was playing with a couple of settlers, and in the middle of winter, the clothes just disappeared. It was like clothing, like hit point dropped to 0 or degraded completely, and the clothes disappeared, and the person who was out in the fucking cold, like way out at the edge of the map in the snow, immediately went hypothermic and collapsed. And it was just so fucking cool, because it was like, oh my god, it's like, yeah, the middle of winter, like, they're in a tiny shack, no one for miles, and, you know, one of the settlers had to carry the other one back to a bed, and then just, like, hope that they would survive the winter with, like, what little medicine and supplies they had. It's just really fucking cool. It's good shit. Alright, do we have a meal yet? We have 11 meals, good. They'll stop eating raw shit. They'll be a little happier. Uncomfortable bed, slightly hungry. Entertainment needs fulfilled. Somebody ate raw food, I guess, yesterday. Better stop eating raw food. And knock that off. Yeah, so in theory, one of the... what did you just grab to haul? In theory, one of the quality of life improvements... not in theory, I mean, I've seen it work. But they used to go out to grab supplies, and they would just grab one of a supply, and then come back. So if they were hauling the stockpile, they'd grab one, come back, one, come back, one, come back. And now if they are hauling to stockpile, they'll grab as much as they can hold of one type of something. So if you go out and there's like 4 sticks here, they'll grab as many sticks as they can possibly grab and bring them all back. There's a handful of other things in the experimental branch, but that alone, I was like, I can't. It's too frustrating. It's so much better that they pick up more stuff. Now, it's like I said, it doesn't change their mentality of like, if he's got if he's got wood right here to get, he's instead going to grab the wood that's over here to build his thing. What is that? A hare. All right, this kid's still hauling. Yes, good. I want all that current. We need it. We have so little of it. How much do we have? 109? I want like 500. Don't you be grabbing it. 137? Nice. All right, she butchered all the animals, and she made so many meals. 34. Research available. Beautiful. Architecture. Unlock that architecture. Now, if all holds well, so we have this research, this technology tree, and there's a bunch of stuff we can get. We've gotten architecture, which lets us build wooden beams so we can be a little more efficient with our wall placement. And we'll likely get furniture next because we want to manage their moods, which are going to be negative because everything sucks in the winter and they have nothing to their names. So we can get nice beds for them, which will improve their moods a bit. But then we're going to focus on agriculture because then we can plant crops, but I don't care in the winter. What I do care about is preserving food, gives us shelves so we don't have to stack stuff on the floor. It's much more efficient for stacking your stuff. And then it gives us fermenting once we unlock that as well, where we can start to make wine, and that's actually a lot of fun. We'll dig a cellar to make and store our wines, and we'll keep them just the right temperature no matter what time of year it is. It's a lot of fun. And Rick's hauling to the little waste pile that we made. I put a fence around it so I could see it when I'm zoomed out like this. Just find it. Not that it matters, but if it ever gets full, I want to make sure I can build another one or expand that. We're going to cover that and also make a cellar around it. And it starts to snow! Okay. We will have to definitely... tomorrow morning we are building a roof. You know what? Don't use the mushrooms either, in case we can get a dog. Sometimes they come by and they're selling dogs. It'd be nice if we can buy a dog. Dogs can eat hay and mushrooms. They can eat other stuff too, but it's easiest to feed them hay and mushrooms. And I'd like to get one. If we train a dog, if we get a dog and we train it and it becomes our pet, I think that's how it works. I've had a dog, but I have not trained a dog to the point where it becomes your pet. But I've had a pet dog in the game. You can start the solo start with the base game. You can start with a dog. But the dog will haul stuff for you, and then you just set the dog to haul. Everybody else can just focus on other stuff. The dog will just run around grabbing shit. Really fantastic. Nobody wants to grab these wood. We just want to let that sit out there forever. I love that he's a night owl. That is a fantastic perk. My goodness. That is great. Oh, look at them, so cold. Dude, the dev needs to, like, rotate their sleeping bodies just, like, 10 degrees. It just drives me nuts. Their elbows hang off the bed for no reason. I love it. They're just playing a little game of backgammon together and they're freezing cold. Let's get some roofs a-going. And do that one like that. Ooh, our stockpile's running out. You know what? We might as well just go ahead and build. I'm just gonna go ahead and build another covered area. Beautiful. Our little lopsided house. I love it. Alright, you guys get to it. The vet's construction skill is now level 13. Well, you're doing a very good job. Uh-oh. Well, we will have some cutting to do, that's for sure. A lone traveler shows up at the edge of our settlement. A rangy hawker empties their pack, spreading a selection of oddments on a linen cloth on the ground. I buy and sell things that take my fancy on the road, they say with a crooked smile. Take a look if you like. And we will indeed take a look. Hopefully we have enough stuff to sell to him. Oh, he's got a dog. She's got a dog. Will she sell us that dog, I hope? Oh, look at that fox. Fox is looking at my meat. Get out of here, fox. Get these fences up, you bastards. Alright, Yvette, come talk to this person. Okay, they can hold a lot of weight, 125 kilograms. They do have a dog. It's 130 bucks, but I've got a ton of wheat, and so we're going to give them some wheat. And that sets us up nice. We get all of your cider and a dog. All right, done. Seal the deal. All right, Yvette, get to work. She's Louise. Let's get the father back on construction as well. All right, you guys. Yvette, you've been just drinking for hours. You just sat here. Oh, that's both of you. You're still sitting drinking. Get to work. Did you guys drink all the booze? I bet you did. There's no booze left, is there? Yeah, there's no... One thing of booze. Hopefully the kid gets some. We need a little doghouse. Our poor little dog sleeping outside. Look at that little guy. Freezing to death. Dogs get cold. Dogs can sleep outside. Apparently you can be outside, lady. That's interesting. Oh, how bad is this? Am I going to lose shit today? 3 days? I got time. 1 day, 20 hours. It might be time to start looking at, cellar. I say we cut more trees, and then we start thinking about a cellar. Wilhelm Knotley, intellectual skill is now 9. Oh, look, there's all these fucking trees out here. Oh, you're gonna get fucking frostbite. Oh, there we go. Good job, Wilhelm. Now we can get some good furniture. Boom. So much can get done with that. Now we can build bookshelves. 1, 2, 3. We'll just line those walls with bookshelves. Done. And it's late, so we're not going to do beds tonight. Wilhelm's filling his food pouch. Yeah, I think this is also with the experimental branch too. They get a food pouch so that they can keep working. They don't have to run constantly. Because eventually your food is far away. You keep like your food in a cellar and it's like 2 levels down. We're going to get into that in a second. That's probably like the very next thing on the list is food pouches, is a cellar. Nice. This will be a library for just a minute. Keep hammering right over your wife's head. And Heinrich, don't die out here. You're cold, you're a little bit tired, you're desperately thirsty. I feel bad. You're doing a good job, though. Got a good swing on you. Alright. I love that you can't just take that with you, you know, that'd be a big help. We're gonna do beds. And then once beds are done, I'm gonna start looking at a cellar. But they did it. I mean, we're halfway through the winter. I think the seasons are 12 days, will it say if I hover? The year is split into 4 seasons that last 12 days each. Days start from 5 o'clock in the morning. Alright. So we're almost through winter and we'll head into spring. When spring comes, we can start growing crops and not freezing to death. Animals are hungry. There's fucking food back here, dog. Dogs eat hay, right? Animals. The dogs will eat animal feed. Carcass meal, raw meat, smoked meat. Oh, look at that. They won't eat hay. All right, well, we'll make some animal feed. That's fine. Well, that's good to know. Dog is hungry because there's not much food in the overland. So we'll make some animal feed for the dog. Oh, Vet, I hope that you are able to do that or this dog's going to starve. Now, I have it on regular mode. It's not on peaceful, so we will eventually get settlers that want to join us and raids because of those settlers. That's how that mechanic works. It's kind of simplistic. It's kind of formulaic. Like you just get settlers on the edge of your map and they want to join you, but if they join you, people are very angry for reasons. We'll probably be turning away settlers during the winter, unfortunately, which is going to make these settlers unhappy that we are being so mean to people. But I assume someone in the family will put their foot down, mother or father, and say, we can't afford it. We just can't do it. Until we are able to manufacture our own weapons, we can't risk an attack. We won't be able to manage it. I mean, it probably would be an interesting challenge to try to do it all with traps and other things, but they'll just take the debuff until such time as we can make ourselves some weapons. And then they can do some hunting too. That'll be fun. Go eat, dog. Yeah, good. Haha, he lived. He'll live. Okay. Awesome. We must have had books. We must have had books off of a pile or something, because now we have 38 research available. And I don't think he was researching that fast. I mean, maybe he was. But we're going to get agriculture because then we can get fermenting and preserving food. Agriculture is going to let us unlock crops. Boom. Done. First and foremost, we're going to get preserving food. Done. And we will have to research until we can unlock fermenting. I think then with that, it's time to start looking at going downstairs. Which is gonna be a little tricky. Oh, we got a couple things actually we can do. Let's get a meat smoker going. Done. Oh, here we go. So our first settler comes to find help, but we will have to turn him away. Salvation, the Kingdom of York. Forlorn and desperate, Boyden stood accused of treason against the Kingdom of York by aiding and abetting the monarchy. I am innocent, he sobbed. Would you grant Boyden asylum? Reprisals may follow. And if we slam the door shut, we might get a negative mood modifier. We'll probably all get a negative mood modifier. And if we help him... I don't know what those perks mean. I don't know what that is. If we help him... he has some amount of skills. We know that he's a decent carpenter and decent at mining, and he's also the same religious alignment as us. But we will be attacked by 5 marauders and an archer. Sorry, Boyden. We have to turn you away for now. Oh, Wilhelm got happy about that. Sanctuary denied. He's not happy. Sanctuary denied. They're all unhappy about it. Some. Yes. Every last one of them. Okay, we're gonna start building a cellar. Who is good at mining? Not you. Yvette's pretty good. Oh my god, Wilhelm's bananas. You know what? Why don't we switch you up? Someone wanted to get into research. Looks like Yvette did. Not a bad idea to have more than one person good at research. Let her build some skills. She'll slow down our research for a bit, but she'll get happier, I think. And she'll also build XP, which is good. This probably seems odd at first. I don't know if we're going to get to it either. We shall see. But this is in anticipation of having a second story here, so that I will be able to get inside. I usually put the stairs outside because otherwise it's just taking up valuable floor space and they can run outside for a second to get upstairs. It's fine by me. Trying to do a spiral staircase, which I've done before, but it always just takes a little bit. There's no planning in this game. You just have to kind of commit to what you want them to do. So it just gets a little tricky. Trying to remember exactly how I like to build these. It's not the most stable thing on Earth, but it is compact, and I'm not going to put anything on top of it again, because it's outside. There's nothing that's going to be structurally on top of it. That is another aspect of this game. Everything in this game has a structural stability. Stability 4. There you go, yeah. So everything has a stability. It's not like Minecraft where you can just like float blocks in the air. Everything has to be connected to stable ground. So, we are going to build a wonky little spiral staircase. But that should not be a problem. Dude's going to build up some stairs. We got plenty of wood to do it. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. I love it. Yvette is researching. What's the boy doing? Filling his food pouch. Have at it. What did I have you? What are you doing? Henrik, you are cutting plants. And are you working on animal husbandry? You are. Good. Go tame your dog. Train your dog. Nice. Training attempt successful. What do we get out of that? Anything? I think it takes a while. Yeah, nothing yet. Alright. Slaughter the dog. Jesus Christ. Old Yeller situation. And we dig out this. One. We gotta do these one at a time. One of the unfortunate things about the settlers' AI is they will strand themselves. You have to be very careful about how you have them dig, because they will get themselves stuck and trapped in places that you can't get them out of. They have to mount rescue efforts. So I will micromanage him digging these stairs. Wilhelm is going to construct. Oh, he's going to mine first. That's okay. That dog is going to drop like a sack of potatoes. What's going to happen? I haven't never seen that before. Oh, dog just... Oh, he moves over. Okay, cool. Wilhelm, why you got to dig before you build? Did I put you up like that? Where's a vet? That might collapse. If that collapses, whatever, I'll just build him again. Yeah, they collapsed. Oh, he's gonna get stuck. Well, whatever. Oh, he already is stuck. Whoops. Well, get to digging, pal. Oh, poor Wilhelm. Vet, what are you doing? Yeah, there you go. Your husband is in danger. You're gonna freeze to death down here. There you go. Can you get out now? Stop being idle. You can get out. Do it. Good. Idiot. And, yeah, let's dig in because we can. We'll go out 3, and we'll make a little branch. And, so we're eventually going to build the house out this way, and heat from the house will affect the cellar. So we won't put anything we want to keep cold under the house, but we will, build a brewery under the house. Everybody takes a little leisure time. This is why I set all their leisure time together. It's nice to see the family all gather around, all the settlers gather at one time. When you start getting further along and you can build, like, a kitchen, like a fake tavern kind of thing, and just watch them all gather around, it's kind of cool. Now, we're going to build these separate paths because we're going to keep 2 separate temperatures. This area will never have anything over it. This will probably be like a courtyard inside of a different, you know, a village of houses surrounding this, like, courtyard. Probably. And since this is under the house, it will probably already be somewhat warmer on this side than it would otherwise. Not right now. Now it's out in the cold, but when the house actually gets fully built. And so what we'll do is we'll do brewing and fermenting down here, because fermenting needs to be kept in, like, the mid 40 degree Fahrenheit temperature range, I think, like 40 to 50 degrees, for it to actually ferment. If it goes lower, the fermentation just stops and it holds. If it goes higher, it spoils. So we'll try to keep that stuff at around 40 degrees. And then on this side, we're just going to get nice cold storage. And then once you're underground and you don't have any insulating materials, so just the regular ground as it is, don't build anything, don't make clay, don't make nothing, you can keep the temperature at like a nice 30 degrees. There's more nuance to it. There's guides online that you could find if you want to, like, really min-max it. I never do that stuff. I don't care for that. I like when games have these big complex mechanics, but I like to just kind of let them be obtuse and opaque and discover them and discover my own strategies as I go. But yeah, this is some stuff that I figured out is brewing seems to be needed to be kept, I would say, like 45 degrees seems to be working for me. And then the food, I have had success with getting the temperature in like the 32 to 38 degree Fahrenheit range all year round by building out a basement in such a way, which we're going to do. We're going to brace these out. There's a whole bunch, I've seen too, I've watched people play this online, there's a whole bunch of different thoughts on how to build basements and what's sturdy and what's not. I have had no problems whatsoever with what we're about to do once he mines this out. This could be overkill, it could be underkill, but basically I make a hallway of sorts, a corridor, and we go one, 2 full open slots, and then a brace, and then 1, 2, and then a brace, and 1, 2, and a brace, and on and on and on. And this way I can just kind of keep expanding if I want to, or I can break off and go into more corridors and just keep doing the same kind of thing. Oh, I love it. Their cozy little farm in the winter. I'll tell you, this game's called Going Medieval, but there's like, especially in the early game, there's so very little that like feels necessarily medieval, and I get like a very Little House on the Prairie kind of vibe. This feels like 1800s, like homesteader, Old West kind of stuff in the very beginning. Be nice if they did get modding. That'd be cool to see that come to the game as well. It'd be cool if there were like rifles and pistols and bears and cougars. I'd play the hell out of that. It'd be fun to switch back and forth. As this game wears on, as you get into the later game, there's like castles and trebuchets and like bandits that look very medieval-esque. They'll start to come. But in this very beginning, this is very Little House on the Prairie, which is also what made it a lot of fun to make a little family. The homesteader family has been fun. I tried this a little bit before recording it for the channel, just to make sure it was viable. But one of the things I was considering, but it would be a little bit more difficult, is like a hermit cannibal, like a hill person. And just put him like, take the hillside map start, and just take a lone dude who's just an evil, awful, bloodthirsty, like there's a bunch of like shitty traits and make them like a bloodthirsty cannibal. And anybody that comes to join the thing, you say yes, and then you eat them. And then the raids that come, you eat them. But I think that would be, I don't know enough about the game. That's a little out of my range. But if I stick with it, that might be fun to come back and do. You know, also if this is, if people are interested in seeing more Going Medieval, it might be fun to do some of that stuff. Got some heavy back-breaking labor going on there, Wilhelm. You want to help? Oh, I love it. I love it. This game is fantastic. Ton of fun. Hey, get out of my food trough, you bastard. The problem with this is that dogs also cannot walk through gates, unfortunately. So I either pen the dog in forever, or I lock foxes out. I mean, we could use this to our advantage eventually. We could be hunting these guys and they're closer. Settlers are becoming annoyed. Had a night terror. Alright, that's fine. How are your moods overall? You're fine. The father's in a really good mood. He's inside, writing and reading. He's got a nice, easy life. They're all fucking busting their humps out here. Alright, where are we at? Oh, we're there. Beautiful. We can now ferment food. Ferment booze. Let's freaking get at that. And in just a hot second, we can start the long process of making booze. Basically, we have to build a fermenting station, and then we can start fermenting our berries into fermenting ingredients. We'll put them in barrels so that they ferment over time. And then it takes a few days for them to start to turn into alcohol. And after a few days, they'll become rough wine, which the settlers can drink, and it'll take away their thirst debuff, but it won't make them happy at all. It doesn't really give them any buff. It takes another 30 days to turn into proper wine, which is quite a task, because you want to balance, like, in the beginning, you need to let them drink some rough wine so they lose that debuff, and you want to produce enough. This is why I was, like, so serious about collecting as much of the red currant as I possibly could, because I need this stuff, and we won't, you know, it's almost spring. But then we have to plant all our red currant. We have to harvest what's in the area. Settlers are unhappy. Who is it? Henrik. Yeah, he had a night terror. Go get yourself entertained. What time is it? Go entertain yourself. You have next hour. Calm down. Yeah. So it's a little bit of a balancing act trying to get them in the very beginning, and it just takes forever. But it's a lot of fun. I like the complexity of it, the finickiness of it. For some reason, the kid is preparing food. Why are you brewing? Nobody told you to brew. You suck at it, too. Get out of here, kid. Good. Don't ever do that again. Kids are wasting my time. If I had a failed brew out of that, I'd kill you, kid. We gotta get him something that makes him happy soon. We gotta get some... He's going to be happier in the springtime when he can, and also when we get some of the research going where we can, oh, look what we can do, tailoring. He'll be happy very soon. We're going to unlock tailoring. Before wooden weaponry, because we're going to want to keep him happy. All right, I think that is a good spot to leave it. We've unlocked our brewing station. We'll start brewing some fermenting supplies, which means we can make rough wine. We've got our underground storage where we're going to keep our food nice and cool. And we've got our little farmhouse out in the wilderness, doing pretty damn good. When we come back, we will probably build the second story to the house. I think that's what's next in order, and we'll put a tailoring workshop up there and let the kid get to work on some stuff that he's passionate about doing, but we'll do that in the next episode. So subscribe for more Going Medieval, and I'll see you next time.